continue our courageous conversation on youth sports injuries. The last 2 weeks we have covered baseball and basketball. This week is all about football and concussions. Our Daniel Shedd joins us now with much more. Daniel.
Jen, it wasn't until 2011 that the state of Missouri passed legislation requiring an annual youth sports brain injury report. At the top of the list every year is the game of football, responsible for nearly 46% of brain injuries.
Because I think this game's a great game and can offer so many things to so many people, but no sport is ever worth the risk of having long-term issues, especially when you're talking about things like CTE and concussions.
The American Academy of Neurology reported in April this year that 40% of retired NFL players showed signs of having a traumatic brain injury. Even Super Bowl MVP Kurt Warner has reservations about the game he loves.
It's a tough thing because we know it's a violent sport and we know that injuries are going to occur. But I do like the moves that are being made everywhere from Pop Warner all the way up to the NFL levels.
Let's go, helmets on.
Bill Voris is one of the many high school coaches in the Ozarks leading the charge. He's the head coach at Fair Grove.
I think everybody's hyper aware right now, and everyone wants to. You got to err on the side of caution. I think it's like a pendulum. It's like anything else. It goes from one end to the other, and probably the reality is probably somewhere in the middle.
An estimated 300,000 sports-related brain injuries occur in the United States every year, according to the Journal of Athletic Training. At that rate, sports come in as the second leading cause of brain injuries to young adults, right behind motor vehicle accidents.
Those seasons go so fast.
Rich Rehagen is the head football coach in Nixa.
I've seen players get hurt and they'll miss half a year, and they put in a lot of work to get into those seasons, and I just hate to see it taken away when an injury does happen.
In the 2014-15 school year, the Missouri State High School Athletics Association reported over 2,800 head injuries, costing students to miss over 34,000 days of competition and over 3,500 days of missed classes. Football ranked at the top of the list, representing over 46%. Since 2011 in the Show Me State, football has caused between 1,300 and 1,500 head injuries every year.
You have to keep them out for 24 hours, have them evaluated by a doctor or physician before he can return to play.
Harvey Richards is the Associate Executive Director for MISHA.
We're probably in the forefront of a lot of the states. We rank probably in the top 10 out of 50 states that are doing everything that you should have in place.
In 2011, MISHA was a big part in helping pass Missouri House Bill 300, which established the Youth Sports Brain Injury Prevention Act. The new law required every school district to distribute concussion information annually to each athlete and their family. This made Missouri one of the only states in the country to publish an annual brain injury report.
We're trying to find out what's really going on out there.
Richards and MISHA are currently in the middle of a 2-year study focused on reducing contact during football practices in hopes to curb these numbers even further, a step that the Journal of Athletic Training backs, stating that tackling and being tackled are responsible for close to 70% of football concussions.
You're really smart with your players where you are in a season. You really reduce down a lot of what you're doing the later in the year as you go to keep your team healthy.
The goal is to get teams to have less than 90 minutes of contact per week, because less time injured means more time on the playing field.
The biggest thing for kids, they just want to be involved in something. They want to be involved in something they can contribute to. You got 22 starters on offense or defense, and you got special teams. Kids have a chance to get out there and contribute to their school, their community.
We have to continue to do more. We have to continue to find better technology. We have to continue to communicate better. We have to continue to stay in the forefront of this issue. The long-term effects are often more important than the short-term impact that we can have in a particular situation.
And tomorrow night we'll continue our talk about the game of football and more specifically what players and parents need to do to keep the sport as safe as possible.